Colin.
Yeah, Cadence.
Do you like media and entertainment that's badass?
Durr.
Do you like media and entertainment that's bitchin'?
Yeah.
And how about a little bonkers?
Hills, yeah, throw that in there.
Then I think you might like this thing called the Bewatch Rewatch.
Oh, God. Are you trying to promote the podcast I'm actively doing with you right now?
A little bit. Is it working?
Cool intro. All right, well.
Let's get started.
Let's get into it, guys. Hi, everybody. It's Colin.
It's Cadence. Live and back at you from the studio inside my bedroom.
We apologize for getting episode 6 out a little bit late. Cadence did go on a little trip. She just left for a little trip for the first time without her kids in decades.
Truly, you guys, Colin was so generous and kind, and Alex was so generous and kind, and they split up the kids, and Alex took Jonas, and Colin took Addie and Elliot, but it was, it was wild. I was just like, there are so many freaking hours in the day.
I know, you could do so much, and I had such a good time.
Every day just felt endless to me.
I know, and I had such a little good time with your little kitties. They were so fun. We went on all kinds of adventures, and we tried to make a movie that might be coming out soon, you guys, in a cinema near you. It's called Sasquatch Spirit. And your kids were primo actors, and they just had a storyline, and it's riveting. It's riveting. It involves a graveyard and a dead Sasquatch spirit. If you couldn't get that from the title.
Know that this happened.
I know. It's going to be really good.
So excited about it. My oldest, Jonas, like I said, stayed with Alex. I should also say, just for clarity, like, I'm fully vaccinated. We were on a work trip with people who are fully vaccinated. We did not leave the state. We didn't fly, we drove. It was all sanctioned.
Yes, and Alex and I are also fully vaccinated, thank God.
So yeah, that was a long-winded way of saying we thought we had it all under control before the trip. We thought we had our ducks in a row, but we realized that those ducks were not in any row. They were swimming all over the pond in different directions, and there was no, whatever. The ducks were having a party, and we're back, and you're welcome for #SaveAnette.
Yeah, and that was a really long-winded way to say, like, sorry for last week's episode being a little late. We were all over the place. Aside from all of that, we both have been thinking about Annette nonstop. We cannot stop thinking about, is she okay? Is she still in that coma? Is she still being Miss Physique? Is she awake? What is going on with Annette? Oh man, we were just giggling so hard last week. We could not stop.
So we appreciate if you guys are loyal listeners and you're finding joy in the podcast and you want to share it. Should you spread them, it will also bring others joy.
Yeah, it's good. All right, without further ado, let's jump into this episode. All right, guys, so obviously, episode 6, we talked about it 1,000 times. We love Annette. Rest in your coma, Annette. Hopefully you get out of that, girl.
I hope to see you soon.
And we struggle
back at it with your physique.
Well, we do not want to see her back at it with those steroids.
No, not back at the roids.
No.
Back at the physique contest.
Yeah, I hope that she realizes. She's got to get that 4th crown. I hope that she realizes that she doesn't need steroids to win Miss Physique. That the steroids are in her heart. With this episode, we're going to deal with some topics that we kind of already dealt with, but in a little different way because Pacific Blue loves to do that. We have a night stalker robber who kind of like Strippergate. Instead of distracting you with strippers and robbing you, he distracts you with yourself and your sexual desire for somebody else.
I think you're overcomplicating this. The only thing that those two plot lines have in common is distraction.
I know. I was really grasping at anything, but in my head, they're just exactly the same, but they're not. It's just distraction, the power of distraction.
So the first plot line is at the Hotel Chantal, and only the Hotel Chantal. Couples who are rendezvousing in their hotel rooms in the throes of passion get burgled by this little gross creeper perv, and he takes their stuff and watches them do it.
And yes, burgled is a word. I fought with Cadence for a long time. Well, apparently it's a word because she played Scrabble with Jed and he used the word burgled.
Categories.
You just said Scrabble.
I did not. I said categories.
What is even categories? Scrabble's where you make up words. I'm taking some notes from Anthony Palermo and I'm getting to the bottom of this story. I need to know.
So tell me more.
Tell me more. Was it Scrabble or categories? Yeah, so he's this like creepy little leprechaun looking dude and he basically breaks into your hotel room after you're having sex and steals all your stuff. Burglars you. What did you say?
He does what?
Burgles you. It's been a while since I've been burgled in a hotel room on a rendezvous.
And then the other end of the spectrum with this episode is a serial killer.
Yeah, we got two major.
Something light, something fun.
Pacific Blue was really trying to get deep down into their they're really trying to get more intense as every episode goes on. So yeah, they just really went for it with a dual burgled.
You're having a hard time with that.
Well, because I'm trying to say burgled with the burglar and a serial killer. So yeah, that's what we're getting into today, guys.
So this episode opens with TC and Chris at dinner. They are just bantering their little hearts out.
Does everything come back around to fun and pleasure with you?
No. But it's a great combination. You should try it sometime.
It's a big mistake.
My turn. What would you rather be? Someone who cleans septic tanks for a living or someone who picks up roadkill off the freeway?
I wish I never started this game.
They are also, by the way, completely in uniform. They're having a leisurely, 4-course dinner on the
like a
boardwalk.
nice restaurant. And they are in their tight biking shorts and full cop polos.
And they're on duty because they hear a call over their CB. They're like, whoever's around, respond. And I'm like, so they just on duty, just decided to stop and have this like luscious meal at this French bistro.
Really good way to describe it. But also, we're not cops. Maybe that's just how they do things. Maybe they're always on duty.
Or maybe they're doing their job so well that there's like so little crime in their neck of the woods that they're like, oh, dude, we don't even have to worry about enforcing anything.
Think about what you just said, Cadence. That's the dumbest thing you've ever said. Of course there's crime. There's always crime to be stopped.
Okay, well, for whatever reason, they're enjoying a dinner, and you can sort of see the sexual tension because you can always a little bit with TC and Chris. That's sort of their vibe. It reaches a freaking fever pitch, though, in this episode, and I think you're going to enjoy it.
I think their storyline progressing is throughout these first episodes. Their storyline is definitely, they are having a bond. They are connecting. Not only in a professional way, but in a very personal way.
The thing that they're getting called to over their radio is there is a burglar at the Chantal Hotel, as we just briefly went over.
And the Chantal, you guys, just to paint a visual, beautiful Miami Vice looking hotel.
Oh, like the sign is neon?
Yeah, neon, very Miami Vice. Just painting a picture.
Right. So the shot that we see of the burglar, the very first time we see him, it's playing a very, what you think is a familiar song. It's the Pink Panther song. But no.
Dun-dun.
Just wait.
Dun-dun. 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 It's so funny.
It's exactly like when they couldn't afford the rights to anything other when the Saints go marching in last episode.
So dramatic. I loved that.
They're like, we'll evoke some like sense of memory with this song, but then we're going to take it completely the other direction so that we don't get sued for copyright infringement. So this couple's having sex. And let me also just emphasize that these couples are having sex. All the lights in the hotel room are on. Every overhead light, every lamp is
Every
on.
sweet neon lamp in the corner is full on.
And the burglar just moseys on in. Like, they are in the throes of passion to the point that with all of the lights on, they do not see this guy dressed head to toe in black stealing their shit from the dresser.
Nope.
He's not in, like, another room or something. Like, he's in the room with them.
He's at the foot of the bed. He goes from the foot of the bed to the side of the bed. He's in full black. Pink Panther-esque song is playing in the background, and they're just so intensely having sex that they cannot look up and be like, oh, there's a man standing right here. Not only a man standing there watching us, he's actually stealing our physical things.
I can't imagine being so overcome in the moment of like sexual passion that I didn't notice that someone was standing at the foot of the bed with all the lights on.
I know. I noticed when my cat, I'll be like, our cat's being a perv. Get him out.
Yeah.
I notice when Gus is just up looking. I'm like, Gus, get out.
They respond to the hotel. TC and Chris respond to the Hotel Chantal. And at that moment, the burglar jumps off the balcony of the hotel room he's just burgled and runs into the night. And they can't catch him. He's too quick.
He is very limber. He's like parkour. He's like jumping through balconies and over plants. And they're just down there on their little bikes looking up like, we'll never be able to catch this thief in the night.
Next morning, TC and Chris are back at the station, and sitting in the chair in front of them is Mr. Stanton, who was the victim who had been burgled the night before.
Like I told the hotel manager, I really don't want to press charges.
Oh, that's not really up to you, Mr. Stanton. By the way, where is Mrs. Stanton?
I felt it would be better to leave her at home. She was in no condition to come down.
She seemed okay last night.
Well, this morning, the reality of it all hit her.
Well, we'd be happy to go to your home and talk to her there.
No, that won't be necessary.
And in the middle of this conversation, you realize that he was not with his wife in the throes of passion.
Who do you think he was with?
Let me take a shot in the dark here, Mr. Stanton. The woman in the hotel room with you last night? Not Mrs. Stanton.
No.
His mistress.
Probably someone from Sheila's restaurant. Probably a freaking hostess or waitress. Her underground escort service. So weird, Madam freaking Sheila.
Madam Sheila. Palermo basically says, guys, the only way that we're going to be able to catch this guy is by baiting him. And so they figure out.
MO is clear. The robber only hits when the couples are in the throes of passion.
Literally catching them with their pants down.
Smart.
On average, it's happening every other night or so.
We went back and talked to some of the robbery victims and found out they had one thing in common. Each couple met in the lounge before their trysts.
And none of them were robbed the first night they rendezvoused.
So whoever's doing this is scaring his victims one night in the lounge and then following them back to their room the next. Just what you're going to do.
You mean bait this guy?
The guy victimizes lovers, we'll give him lovers.
Undercover. Oh, wait, that's a bad choice of words.
He's been staking out the hotel lobby. So the first night, he watches all the couples in the room, gets a feel for them, da-da-da-da-da.
And then he's like, this couple's hot and heavy.
Right. The next night he comes back. I guess these couples meet every night at the Hotel Chantal. I guess that's just their like.
Once you go to the Hotel
routine.
Chantal, you are not going home to have sex ever again.
And you're like making out. You're like, oh, do we have enough time to get to the Hotel Chantal?
Get to the Hotel Chantal.
So Palermo says you guys are going to have to bait this guy, and you're going to have to show up to the Hotel Chantal night after night to make out.
And by
he wants to follow you into a hotel room.
Yes, and just to clarify, by you guys are going to have to stake him out, it's TC and Chris. They're going to have to go on another stakeout mission, and guess what? They have to act so in love, and they have to act like they're not even in love. They have to act like they're in full lust. And let's just say that both of them are pretty happy about this. They're trying to be like, oh no, gross, but they're both getting throbs.
Did you just say throbs?
They're both getting throbs, yep.
Yeah.
Well, for sure TC's getting a throb, and Chris is like, okay.
I hate that you use throb in that way. They're getting throbs.
They're getting throbs.
So, anyway, refocusing. Getting our mind off the throbs. Back to TC and Chris. This starts in the precinct, which is, to me, not a great idea. Palermo says, listen, you guys got to bait this guy. You got to pretend to be lovers. And TC, in the precinct, while in uniform, grabs Chris's hand and starts, like, slobber kissing it.
Lovers, huh? Us?
God, I miss the Navy.
So gross.
And he's
I
like,
don't know.
hey, lover.
He thinks he's trying to be funny and kind of like sexy, jokey, but it's just uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable. Don't fucking make out with someone's hand in a place of business.
Yeah, it's full make out. And Chris is like, if this is any indication how TC is, maybe
I do not want to do this mission.
I'm having second thoughts about any kind of relationship with him outside of work, let alone this mission.
So the other thing that's happening, as we said before, is the serial killer plotline. And
which you would think would dominate an episode, but nope, they've got time for both.
The serial killer plotline, we will try to keep it as simple as possible, but just so you know, they try to pack in a shit ton of backstory that you've never heard of before and you have no context for.
Maybe he went to rehab.
This is not the kind of quality guy you meet in rehab. But what it starts as is one day Del Toro, actually this is pretty much all Del Toro does in this entire episode. He sees the dead body on the beach and he calls for Palermo. And when Palermo gets there, he gets a glint in his eye and you know that there's something that they're not telling us.
Yep.
It's a woman. She's laying peacefully, hands on her chest, and in her arms,
she's
in her
laying very
hands,
peacefully.
she's dead. And she has, this is really important, she has a gold origami angel on her chest.
Okay? Intrigued.
So Palermo, like I said, you can see in his eye that there's something that he's not quite telling us. And so he calls immediately for a very specific detective who he has worked with previously to come check out the body. And as soon as they see each other, as soon as they meet eyes.
So, Tony, what's up?
He's back.
He's back.
So I'm excited to get to know a little bit more about Palermo's backstory, because up until this point, he's just been like the father figure that just kind of steps in every once in a while. But like Cadence said, like you definitely know that something in his background is going to come up and rehaunt him. And when he meets this other detective that he knows well, and he does say he's back, you're just instantly are like, holy shit.
Remember how I just said that?
But you know I love repeating you. It's my favorite thing to do. I don't have my own personality. It's just what I do. It's just how I am.
The other thing, you just disappear.
Guys.
When I'm not around, you just disappear.
I don't exist. I just sit in the dark.
The other important character you meet at this moment when they're congregating around this body at the beach is this really smarmy journalist.
Ah, well, if it isn't Jerry Winters.
And no slime could crawl across the sand.
Oh, he looks
Who
so
is there?
So
gross.
He's the nastiest.
So gross. He hasn't showered. He hasn't shaved. He's wearing like a polyester
and
jacket.
He's just got this little
so
face,
nasty.
and he's like little nosy into everything. Little nosy Nelly. Ugh.
Turn it around, Winters.
Palermo, I am part of the press.
Snapshots of the dead and their body parts are hardly news. Now get lost.
Oh, now, come on. Let me just have a little peek at the girl. I mean, look at it hurt.
Who says the victim's a female?
Well, you know me. I just got a knack with covered bodies.
And he wants to exploit this horrendous murder, this horrendous crime that.
But keep in mind, you have
everyone's
no idea how this woman died. She's just laying there peacefully with the origami.
No. You do if you pay attention. She had a single gunshot to the head.
Oh no. Well, where was that gunshot? Because there was no blood. There was nothing. She was
mystery.
peacefully on that sand. I thought she got
just
like
laid
poisoned.
down and gave up.
She's all, okay, this is it now with my gold origami.
I got my origami angel. Yeah.
What
I'm
if
pretty much-
steroids guy is
I've made
back and
peace.
he's just punching people left and right and she's out cold on that sand? I
There's
didn't
just
know.
a trail of women just laying there on the beach, unconscious. Looks like Rolf has been here. Thanks, Rolf. The journalist is there to, like I said, exploit the situation. Palermo's like, get the fuck out of here. He doesn't want to leave. So then he assigns Del Toro.
Victor, get him out of here. Gotta go.
He's like, Del Toro, get him out of here. And Del Toro's like, okay. And it's like,
Oh, give Del Toro something
it's so
to do.
weird because he won't.
Poor guy.
He
Give him
won't
something
leave
to do.
when Palermo makes him leave, but when Del Toro does, he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll leave. That sounds reasonable. It's
Yeah.
Del Toro's only job.
Well, Del Toro is
does it
very
well.
threatening. With you get out of here with your bad haircut.
He's like, hey, are your nuts shrunk or something?
Are you able to hear your nuts too shrunk? Get the heck out of here. Palermo knows this girl, okay? Get out. That's how it kind of sounds in my head sometimes.
Can you even hear me over the sound of your nuts shrinking?
That was a clip from last episode, by the way, guys. Steroid shrink your nuts.
Del Toro, we love you so much. All right, so Palermo and I'm going to refer to him as Chiseled Detective because I could not figure out what his name was, even with the subtitles on. But this is the gruff old detective that Palermo knew from the past.
Mm-hmm. Chisel face.
So they're back at the station at the precinct, and this chiseled detective is like,
I'm going to be setting up some temporary quarters here until I can determine a suspect.
I'm just going to set up shop here for a while until we figure this out. And Palermo's like,
determine a suspect? The victim was a doctor, right?
Yes.
He left this, right? It's him and you know it.
Not for a fact, I don't.
Oh, I do.
You absolutely know who this is, right? You and I both know who this is.
Oh, and as a listener or watcher, you're just like, please, guys, tell us who this is. We're on the edge of our seats.
As I referred to earlier, we are given a lot of information in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, we got to figure out what this Gold Angel sitch is. That's just all I want to know.
Right, so I'm going to briefly go over the flashback. We'll play you some clips from it.
Police, let her go.
Help me, please.
Drop it.
You drop it. Or I drop her. Come on, hero. Toss it. We'll all walk out of here alive.
Sorry, I can't do that.
If you shoot me, if I even jerk, she's dead. What's it gonna be? Come on.
Okay.
Let's go.
Now let her go.
First she learns the truth.
But basically, what happens is we learn that Palermo knows who this killer is because he has faced this killer before.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say faced,
Just back. I don't want to repeat because I'm just going to repeat what you say.
so just agree wholeheartedly. So when I say face this killer before, I mean that in the most literal way. So years prior, this serial killer was doing the same thing. He was kidnapping doctors, killing them one shot to the head, leaving an angel on their chest. He hunts this killer down, finds them. There's a confrontation in a musty old warehouse somewhere. The serial killer has a doctor, gun to her head, and Palermo doesn't shoot the killer in time, and the serial killer shoots the doctor right in front of him.
Oh, traumatizing.
She dies. Yeah, wow. She dies. And then the killer goes to shoot Anthony Palermo and accidentally shoots him in the leg, doesn't kill him, but runs away. And so Anthony Palermo, we learn, has an old leg injury due to this bullet, and it's really acting up.
Wow, that is really so... Okay, Palermo had this whole secret life. You should get your own spin-off show. Want to know everything about you. But did you know that you can't be a serial killer unless you have some weird little quirky thing you do? You gotta leave some quirky little thing with the body. It's like you're the teacup killer and you just leave like a cup of tea next to the person you kill. Or a kitty killer and you just leave a little kitten next to whoever you kill.
The kitten's alive, right?
Not like, yeah, the kitten's for sure alive, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I said that in a way that...
Just checking.
No, you leave a live kitten near a dead body that you killed.
So after this flashback, we see who we now know is the serial killer sitting in his truck, folding a little gold origami angel in a hospital parking lot, watching the doctors come and go.
Oh, man.
Trying to decide who he's going to get next.
It doesn't give you any indication of like why he picks the doctors he picks.
I also this episode in many ways makes me wonder how Anthony Palermo ever existed or was thought of as like a reputable police officer, because he makes so many basic rookie mistakes. And I can't get over in the flashback that he's like eye to eye with this killer, and somehow the killer just runs away and no one ever sees him again.
He's like literally face to face with him and just like, boop. Well, he got shot in the leg, so he's a little distracted. But if you don't recall, Anthony Palermo also got shot in our one where TC almost got shot. You remember he got shot in the chest too? He's been shot left and right.
Palermo, you are target practice.
I know. But also, this brings up a couple questions because in Chris Kelly's intense bike training, we recall that Anthony Palermo jumps out behind a trash can, so she has to stop her brakes really quick to see if she's got the stuff. If he has a leg injury, he was hopping pretty aggressively, you know? If you have a leg injury, you're not going to be able to pop out that quick for someone to slam on their brakes. You got to get someone else for that job.
Unless he's just popping through the pain.
Maybe he's just popping through the pain.
Lieutenants, they show up when it matters, man. They can pop out behind garbage cans. It doesn't matter what kind of injuries they have. So Palermo starts basically unraveling because he knows what's happening. He can see this whole thing coming from a mile away, and he starts just being shitty to everybody.
Can't find my in basket?
I was just...
Being nosy?
I'm sorry, sir. What's going on, Lieutenant? You know this angel of death somehow. Look, I know it's none of my business, but does this have something to do with Adele and Addison?
You're right, it's none of your business. Close the door on your way out.
I mean, you would be stressed out if a serial killer from your past that shot you in the leg and you saw face-to-face run away and disappear came back. You'd be a little stressed. Just saying.
For some reason that I can't quite understand is the grizzled detective is really resistant to the idea that the serial killer is back. It's like, at this point, there's pretty much no doubt that it's the same dude. And he just keeps going like, you don't know this for sure. And I'm like, why are you so unwilling to admit? Like, wouldn't you want to catch this guy that you didn't get 10 years ago?
And
Why would you?
It's not like you locked the guy up. He clearly ran away. No one's ever seen him again. So it's like, that's a very good possibility he's back.
Yes, I don't understand what the
it's not
point
like he's in
is.
jail or anything, buddy. Chisel
Why
face?
is he in denial? It doesn't make any sense. And then we see him go home and he's drinking in the dark. And this is Palermo, like
drinking in the dark.
just unraveling. And he's also going through a box of serial killer memorabilia that he has.
You always that memorabilia box from serial killers is my favorite. You pull it out, have a glass of wine, recall all those serial killers and their little signatures that they left.
And in that file, we see like all these old newspaper clippings about this killer that got away and how he baffled the cops and the cops couldn't catch
He
him.
baffled the cops. He literally ran away.
That's what it said.
That's all he did. He shot someone's leg and then ran away. But I guess if that
What
baffled
the hell?
them, well, he's a magician. Witchcraft.
So at this point, it's important to note as well that the serial killer is getting more and more bold. And he has made contact with the skeezy reporter that we met earlier, who was there to take pictures of the dead body.
You guys, this guy, we have to post a pic. She's the definition of skis.
And he's nicknamed the reporter Headline, which is who we will call, that's what we will call him from now on. So he calls him and he's like,
Hi, Headline, what's news?
Who is this?
I've insulted you, had to ask. It's the angel.
How did you get my number?
Doesn't matter. What does is what I've got planned for tonight. If you thought the last one was good, be at the corner of 11th and Ocean. At 9, point your camera toward heaven. You might wind up with a prize winner.
meet me by the ocean. And,
Meet me by the ocean. Just anywhere. It could be anywhere. What ocean? Where? Just do it. Just meet me by the ocean.
There's so many vague
excuse
directions.
me, killer. We're on a beach. There's a lot of ocean around.
You know exactly where we are in Santa Ana, Huntington Beach. You know exactly where this is, my friend. Headline.
Headline.
So just keep that in your back pocket. Back to TC and Chris.
Oh, this is where it's so nasty, you guys.
They're on their stakeout, okay?
And they're like sitting in the lobby of the Hotel Chantal. And you guys, TC is trying to be sexy and he's trying to put on a show. And boy, oh boy, is he putting on his show. He's got her full hand in his mouth, slobbering over it, kind of performing fellatio on her hand. And then he's literally like licking her entire forearm, sucking her fingers. And I'm like, TC, cool it, bud. And Chris is like kind of just doing that thing where she's like, this is embarrassing, but it's my job. She's a little bit like, please have this end.
I know, her face is so uncomfortable. And then he goes,
Nibble my ear while I scan the lounge again. We gotta make this look good. Nibble.
you have to nibble my ear. And she's like, dude, cool it. No, here's the worst part. So he goes, nibble my ear. She's like, dude, just can you chill, please? And he's like, we got to sell this. Nibble.
You guys, I don't know. I've seen some pretty PDA couples before making out. I do not see people like sucking on fingers and nibbling on ear holes. Like, it's just so intense. Like, come on. That's gross.
It's so uncomfortable. And he's like licking her neck, like giving her hickeys. It's so...
You can see his spit. It's like all over her. It's like a snail trail because it's slimy.
He's got the throbs.
He's got the throbs hard, and poor Chris, poor girl. She's getting flashbacks of that guy who licked her cop badge.
Oh my God, she totally is. She's like, no.
Yeah, so TC's going in hard, and he's just trying to pretend so much like they are, I guess, in hardcore lust, and he's kind of ramping them up to go to the bedroom because they've got the throbs.
This is the first night, which they never go to the bedroom the first night. The first night is only when he scopes them out. The second night is when they go to the bedroom.
How does he know? How does the killer know or the robber? Sorry, the robber. How does the robber know that they're staying there for 2 nights? What if it's just a one-night thing?
That's the question that was raised from the very beginning. I was just like, why are they going to the hotel night after night? And how does he know what night they're on? How would he know if it's night 1 or 2 or even 4 or 5 for that matter?
We're not a burglar. I guess he just really he's a artist at his craft.
Yeah, we don't burgle. We don't know.
You don't know burgle.
Back to the reporter. So Headline has been called by the serial killer. He's been told to meet him at the ocean. When he arrives at the ocean, the serial killer's on the top of a roof. And he's like, hey, Headline, I got something for you. And he holds up the doctor that he has previously kidnapped.
I'm getting chills.
And then he throws the doctor off the roof.
I was so shocked. It was really sad. This guy flails down like so high on top of the hospital or the ocean. I guess they're at the ocean.
How'd you like that, Headline?
It's really scary, you guys. You're not expecting that.
Headline takes pictures of him the whole way down.
Well, he's a total skis looking guy. Of course he's going to.
Right, so he kills this doctor right in front of Headline.
And he breaks his signature move because he's supposed to shoot them in the head one time.
Oh, you're totally right.
So he's keeping everybody on their toes because the serial killer's now breaking his way of doing things.
And so Headline is kind of in a weird position because half of him is traumatized. He just saw this doctor come off the roof. The other half of him's like, oh, these shots are exclusive. Okay, whatever compassion you may have felt for Headline as he witnesses the death of the doctor completely disappears when he's sitting in his apartment trying to freaking make a deal for the pictures of this dead body. He's like,
No. This is, you gotta understand, this is an exclusive. I got better offers. I got exclusive motion picture rights. I got television rights. I'm sorry.
So he's milking this tragedy like the skis-ball that he is. So you no longer feel bad for him for having witnessed a horrible, traumatic crime because he's just trying to get money from it. But at that moment, Palermo bangs through the door. And he's like...
Been talking to him, haven't you?
Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
You're the expert on crazy.
Hey, get out of my apartment now, okay? I'm on the phone.
You were on the phone.
Are you nuts? Are you...
You think I'm as nuts as your buddy, the angel of death, huh?
All right, that's it. I'm gonna call the lawyer.
Good. Call the lawyer. Maybe we can explain why you let an innocent man die so you can sell more papers.
You think I knew that was gonna happen?
You knew something was going to happen, but you didn't stop. You just took the picture.
Let me tell you something. You know rights? I got a right to report news.
Well, you're not reporting it anymore. You're creating it. You're a participant, okay? You're under arrest for accessory to murder.
You're under arrest for what? I don't quite know. He basically says you were an accomplice to murder because you stood there and did nothing.
No way. Palermo, get out.
And my favorite part of this is like he's saying it as though he expects like a resistance from a headline, and he's like,
"Yeah, okay, yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, you're going. You got that?
I'm taking you downtown." And he's like, "Yeah, okay." And he's like, "Yeah, that's right." And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking you." And he's like, "Okay, I'm getting my stuff." Yeah.
He was just so pumped. He was ready. Well, because he burst in the door ready to take Headline out. He was probably ready for a fight. Palermo His temper is back and forth. Man, he's all over the place. Like, sometimes he has a really short fuse. Well, remember when he wanted that guy to fry? You're gonna fry! For selling drugs, for selling a little bit of cocaine. And it's like, of all things to get mad at, you're gonna freak out over this kid.
You're gonna fry chair.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
So Palermo's
it's
a little bit all over the place.
gunshots. Maybe he shouldn't be on the force anymore. I feel like he's got a little bit of PTSD.
He's been shot a little too much, poor Palermo.
Many times. So he takes him to the police station with absolutely, obviously, no warrant or anything that he can actually arrest him for. The grizzled detective is like,
Palermo!
Back off, Larson. You know what he did.
No, we all know what he did. But there's a thing in this country called the Constitution, and unfortunately it gives him the right.
Palermo, what the fuck are you doing? Why is this guy? And he's like, I arrested him because he took a picture of the body. And he's like, you absolutely cannot just arrest people willy-nilly.
Come on,
what are you
Palermo.
thinking?
Come on, you're a lieutenant.
And as much as the grizzled detective is in denial about what's happening, he's definitely the more level-headed one of the two during this whole scenario. He's like, you can't, like, the press has a right to report on things. Like, you can't arrest people for telling a story and for, like, reporting the facts. The newspaper has a shit ton of lawyers. Like, no one gave you permission to do
headline
this.
He really didn't know the guy was going to be thrown off. He just happened to be there at the right time. But I don't know if you recall, but the nasty killer, the serial killer, when he called Headline to initially set up the ocean date, he said, "Bring your camera and point it towards heaven." So Headline had a little bit of a heads up that he needed to bring his camera because something was going to go down. But still, that doesn't mean that you're going to be witnessing a murder. As much as I think Headline's a sleaze, he didn't really do anything wrong.
Right, because Palermo's implying that somehow they were in cahoots, and they weren't cahooting. They just weren't. Grizzly detective, after he tells Palermo that he's losing his mind and you can't arrest people without cause, he's like, you need to go home. And he's like, I'm not going to leave. And he's like, listen, I'm asking you as your friend, but I'm telling you as your superior,
pulling the superior
do not come
card.
back. But I just want to ask you a question. What do you think? I mean, do you think Palermo's really just going to go home and just sit on his bullet-riddled ass?
If I know one thing about that shot-up old cop, he is not going to go home. He is going to still be mad, and he's going to go share that anger with a bunch of other people around him, if I know anything about the old Mo.
Right, so he decides that he's going to personally, not on duty and without any authority, he's going to follow Headline, and he's going to be around for the next meetup between Headline and serial killer. So
he's doing like private detective work. He's doing like PI work.
So he watches them meet. He decides that he can get a better view from the top of the building next to them. So he's watching this without any radios, no wires. You couldn't hear a darn word.
Just his eagle eye shot up old vision.
Okay, so just also imagine he's not hearing anything, right? So who knows what they're even talking about? He just sees them consorting down on the street. He's way the heck up on the top of a building.
Yeah, he can only see Headline and Killer, just kind of like, they could be talking about anything. Really anything.
They really could. They could be like, you want to get a sandwich later? Are you hungry? What's going on? So he yells, okay? He chooses this moment to make his move. So they're all the way down on the street. He's all the way on top of the roof, and he goes,
"Freeze, police!"
Palermo, come on, bud. At least go down a little. At least climb the fire escape. He's literally like trying to get down. Like, stop! You guys, stop! I can't hear what you're saying, but you cut it out. And he's like trying to get down, and they're just looking at him like, what an idiot would do this?
He gives them so much time to run away, but then to make it worse, so he's like, stop, freeze. They're like, what the hell? Is someone yelling at us from that rooftop?
They can't even hear the word freeze. It's like, and they look up and they're like, what?
They start, like, I don't want to say they start running away because they have plenty of time.
They just kind of slowly walk away and side-eye him the whole time, like turn their back. Like, what is that?
So he starts chasing them, and then he fucking biffs it down the fire escape.
Oh, Palermo. His poor little leg doesn't work. His muscle went out.
He rolls the whole way down the stairs. So he's like...
He does roll. I don't know if this was even part of this. The actor himself could have just fallen, because I don't know if this was part of like their intention, because it looks like he really fell, and man, he just barrel rolls down there. Real smooth, Palermo.
So he's like, just the whole scene put together is him being like, stop, freeze.
And they're just literally slowly walking away with their head over their shoulders like, oh, look at that guy. Still watching him fall down. At that point, they don't even know it's Palermo. He's so far away. They can't
really
see.
don't.
It just
And
looks like
it's
a
dark.
stranger.
It's night times.
So they literally just hear a voice out of the distance up, and they look back and they see a person just falling down the stairs. So they're just like, I don't know what Palermo was thinking.
Do you see this asshole over here? What's he doing?
Did he tell us to freeze? Does he think he's a cop? Is that the hotel? Is that the hotel lobby guy? Like, who is this?
And at this moment, the killer is also extolling while Palermo's just rolling down the stairs.
Oh,
at a
rolling for
leisurely
20
pace.
minutes, you guys. Poor guy.
Oh, the killer is giving his, like how every villain has a monologue. He's giving his monologue to Headline, and he's telling him why he does what he does.
Doctors give life. This life is a lie. The only way to escape the lie is to reach the eternal truth, which is death. I help others find the truth.
And you're the only one that knows this truth?
By tasting death, I live life. I help others find the truth. It is your mission to help me spread the truth. My manifesto must be shared with the world.
As Palermo's rolling down in the background.
You just hear crashing.
You see Palermo just still rolling down, and he's trying to give this monologue to Headline and just be like,
He's
look.
like, this is my manifesto.
that guy in the background's really ruining the mood here.
So he turns on Headline at the last minute because he thinks maybe he's orchestrated this for Palermo to catch them or something. So
Yeah, he kind of finally realizes once Palermo gets close enough in his
to
fall.
the bottom of the
To
stairs.
the fall, he's like, oh, that's Palermo. And then it clicks like, Headline, you set me up.
You son of a bitch. So he takes Headline captive, and he's like, you're going to need to write my manifesto and publish it. This whole thing confuses me as well, because the only thing he needs the journalist Headline to do is type out the manifesto. And I'm like, do you not know how to type? He's dictating it the
you don't even need to
whole
type it. You could just
time.
handwrite a letter and submit it to the newspaper you don't.
His services are not needed, but whatever.
I can't imagine Headline being a great wordist. What do you say?
Wordsmith.
Wordsmith. I cannot picture him. Even the way he talks, he's this sleazy, what? I ain't got nothing on. Could you imagine? How does he write? I just don't trust him.
And as we heard from the serial killer's speech, this is very well thought out. He's given us a lot of thought. He's got a whole system.
Mm-hmm.
He's
very
operating
well thought out.
From this, very weird to him rational place.
He took 2
he's
years
very articulate.
He took 2 years of origami so that he could fold his origami gold cranes perfectly.
Right, every time.
He's been planning this for a while.
So, what Headline has to offer this, I have no idea. I'm 100% sure he could take care of his own manifesto.
Do we have any indication of how long it's been since Palermo, when he ran away, the killer ran away from Palermo? Does we have any indication of how long it's been?
No, it's been a few years, because in the flashback he has not as white of hair. So it's been a decent amount of time.
So I wonder what this killer was doing in the meantime. Well, I know he was going to origami school.
He's like, these angels aren't perfect yet. I can't come back until the lines are crisper.
I cannot kill another doctor until this angel is perfect. Good for him. Good for him.
So we're back to TC and Chris.
Oh no.
can't.
TC and Chris. You guys might have forgot about him, but TC and Chris and their undercover, what is it called? Their stakeout. That's right.
I like to call it the makeout stakeout.
It's so gross. Ugh. So we're joining them, and we're going to get to the bottom of who this little pesky burglar is, this sex burglar.
TC's taking it up a notch because he is fucking leeched to Chris's neck. There's nothing sensual or sexual about it. And it is the loudest, sloppiest, slurpiest neck sucking and kissing. So he is, making so many mouth noises all over Chris. And they decide they can't see who the burglar is. They can't see anybody staking them out. But Chris is.
But they're out there. I can feel it.
Her senses are tingling. She's
their cop senses
I know
are
he's in here.
Oh, yeah,
I
they
can
know.
tell.
They have that sixth sense, someone's watching us.
So TC's like,
So why don't we move this party upstairs?
I guess we better go since we know he's watching us. So they start making out in the Hotel Chantel's hallway.
Hotel Chantal, I love it.
They're making out in the hallway, and then they push their way into the door, And at this moment, you see like this brief moment where they're both giving in to their lust because they're in private, right? And so nobody's there to watch them. And they're also not seeing anybody else. And the hotel room door shuts and they're like really going at it for reals.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Chris like push TC away like, no.
We can't
What
do
are we
this.
doing?
No.
What are we doing?
We can't give in to our carnal desires for each other.
So they get it together. They take a deep breath and they're like,
There's the bed.
Yep.
Look, whether we like this or not, we have got to make this thing look good.
Oh, right. Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, we are professionals being professional.
Right.
well, I guess it's time to get naked.
Man, they're really committed to this. Jesus.
So they just watch each other get undressed awkwardly. Like, that's the other weird thing to me. If you're gonna go this far with the ruse, like, can you please just undress each other in a sexy way? Instead, they just stand there watching each other take their clothes off.
I love the standing stare undress. It's very hot.
So they take off their clothes one at a time, get in bed under the covers, and Chris and TC are like, I guess it's time to...
This cannot be... where's the HR manager? Where's Miko? Miko, where is she in this? This cannot be... Like, I know you're on a stakeout. I know you're finding a burglar, but you cannot have sex with your coworker, even if you want to or not, under the guise of doing your police work. You cannot do that.
I mean, to their credit, they don't actually have sex, but they do mime it.
Even miming sex. That's so you're just like, I am thrusting you.
And I also thought, like, this is an ideal time to turn off the lights and use that to your advantage. Turn the lights off, crawl under the covers.
They hate turning off the lights in this world. Come
but
on.
No, same thing. Every single light in the hotel room is on. The lamps are on. They're faking sex and they hear creaking. Here's what perplexes me. So they hear him. They know he's in there. They're faking having sex. He comes up to the side. Also, can we just talk about how this burglar will also, while he's casually in full daylight, drink champagne while he's burgling them? Like, he'll take the champagne from the nightstand and be like, oh, I'm just going to have a little drink and just take your stuff. Don't mind me. So he goes
it's a Hotel Chantel. You have to have champagne when you're burglaring somebody.
Obviously, you can't just burgle it without champagne. He comes up to the nightstand. So, like I said, keep in mind, Chris and TC know he's in the room, right? That's the whole freaking point of them luring him. He goes to grab something on the nightstand. TC puts his hand on the burglar's hand and he's like, gotcha. And then they make eye contact and everybody screams.
They do. They act so surprised. Ah! Home Alone scream status.
You knew he was coming. Gotcha!
It just caught up to TC like what was all happening. Ah!
So
they all
weird.
do. They all scream for like 10 minutes, all looking at each other, just ah.
I just was so perplexed by that. They seem so surprised. So he runs out the door, and of course, Chris and TC have to do this chase in their underwear. That's the only way that this plot could have ended, is them chasing this burglar in their underwear. So they chase him down the hallway. TC tackles him. They take off his mask. He's the grossest mustachioed perv
he's
you've
a total
ever
pervo.
seen.
Well, I mean, he's literally watching people have sex, drink their champagne as he's robbing them.
Right.
I mean, I didn't think he was going to be like a stand-up guy.
But he decides in this moment to rail on the world and why he's so angry. Like, you know what an incel is, right?
Yeah, we were just talking about an incel. I actually didn't know what it was, but we were talking with friends at dinner the other day, and they explained it to me.
Like, they're not getting sex or relationships, and so they're blaming women for not, like, appreciating them.
Yeah,
and,
it's
you know,
a very
like,
misogynistic group of men.
They arrest this dude. They, like, take his mask off. He starts spewing all of his bullshit, and he's like,
oh, sure. Yeah. I've been rejected by every other woman that walks into this hotel. They all go for the big, strong, dumb guys. So, it's only fitting that the woman that arrests me rejects me, too.
Yeah, so many women reject me. It makes total sense that I'd finally get caught by a beautiful woman and she'd arrest me.
That's the grossest way. But it just really... it kind of does, like, summarize him as a person, that voice.
Yeah, I got by a beautiful woman.
He's kind of like Cartman-y.
Only makes sense. I got caught by a beautiful woman.
But it is. He's so weaselly. It's a perfect voice for his perfect
such
weasel
a weasel.
face.
So then he has the nerve. Okay, so he has the nerve to bitch about not getting attention by women and to be arrested by a beautiful woman. And TC's like, all right, cuff him. And he puts his wrists together, puts his hands in front of Chris and goes,
Would you?
Ew!
Chris, poor girl, she has had so many men just so obsessed with her copying. And so weird.
Fetishing.
Fetishing. He starts licking the handcuffs. Ugh, this guy's so weaselly.
And she does it. And you know what? She does this weird smile like, oh, you kook. And I'm like, do not give him the sexual satisfaction of handcuffing him.
She does like that little like coy like wink. Like, oh, you.
Like it's just a casual like, oh,
okay.
You're up to no good.
I'll do this for you, you little stinker.
Like, you know he's getting the throbs as soon as she puts those
so
cuffs on him.
And they had to keep in mind, guys, that they had to have full sex as a stakeout so that they could catch this little Weasley guy who literally stole like a couple things from people.
Ew.
Like, that's how big. I mean, I could understand having fake sexual intercourse if it was like they were catching a serial killer that had killed multiple people. But this
like
guy
the serial killer in the other plot?
Yeah, like the serial killer at the other plot might have made more sense. But this guy goes and steals like a little bit of jewelry from people while they're having sex. I just don't think the means to get the outcome are worth it. I just don't understand it.
I absolutely agree with you. I feel like there's so many other ways they could have gone about this.
So many other ways.
But you know what? We're not an elite bike squad of 5 cops that are in charge of the whole West Coast.
The whole entire West Coast and everything that goes on there. You're right. You're right.
So she and TC have accomplished their job. That puts an end to that storyline.
But they're still obviously feeling the throbs for each other.
Oh,
like they
obviously.
kind of were bummed out that he even came and burglared them. Burgled them.
You missed my joke.
What'd you say?
You said they were surprised they were bummed he even came, and I was like, because they didn't come.
Oh God. I think I didn't even say that he came. I said that he burgled them.
No, you did. I'll rewind it. I'll show you.
They kind of were bummed out that he even came. If there it was. There's always one in every episode.
So, that storyline, like I said, wraps up, and we go back to the more.
I don't even care about that storyline. I'm crazy about the serial killer. I gotta know. Right.
We meet Palermo. He's back at the precinct with Corey and Grizzled Detective.
Chiselface.
Corey is putting a Band-Aid on him because he biffed it down the stairs.
Oh, poor Palermo. I bet you he told her the biggest lie. I bet you he was like, yeah, I was in hot pursuit. They were firing at me. I had to dive behind a dumpster. No, Palermo, you yelled freeze, and then you tumbled down a fire escape for hours, and they slowly walked away. But you tell Corey whatever you have to. You do it.
He's like kind of giving her like a quick version of what happened the first time around with the serial killer, like years prior when he watched that doctor get killed.
Mm-hmm. We get the backstory. We get the Palermo backstory.
He goes,
Tony Palermo breaks the cardinal cop rule and puts down his gun. What's he get for it? A killer who gets away, and every person who's died since can thank him for it.
the one time I broke the cardinal cop rule and put down my gun. And I'm like, I'm 100% sure you broke like 20 more cardinal cop rules when you were falling down a staircase.
Palermo, we've been with you since the beginning, bud. We've seen you break a lot of cop rules, okay?
That was like not the most like mistake you've ever made.
So
or the most disgraceful move.
He made a mistake by putting down his gun?
Yeah, because the first time, like when we see the flashback that we talked about, and the serial killer's holding that doctor hostage, he's got a gun to her head, and Palermo's holding his gun up like, I'm going to shoot you. And the serial killer's like, well, if you do, even if I make the slightest jerk while I'm dying, like the gun's going to go off and she's going to die. And he's like, yeah, you're probably right. So he puts down his gun and he shoots the doctor anyway.
Sweet baby Palermo. Oh. I'm starting to question Palermo's credentials here. Like, someone needs to pull out his resume. Miko, where are you? Because he doesn't seem to be making the best decisions. And I was excited to get to see a little bit of his backstory, but now I'm kind of just disappointed.
I know. That's why I was like, what on earth gave anybody the idea that Palermo had the resume to put together this elite bike squad team?
I know. I don't think anybody did. He probably just did it on his own. No one really knows what's going on.
Maybe they just were like, Palermo, go ahead and do that.
You do it,
do your
bud.
thing.
You do it, bud. They just didn't have faith in him. The whole thing is like how he could do it.
Oh, that would be so funny. So yeah, he's like, I broke the one time I made a mistake as a cop, and I'm like, okay, Palermo,
You
yeah,
keep
the
telling yourself that,
one
buddy.
time.
You keep
You're
telling
right.
yourself that.
So of course, adding to Palermo's complete inability to do his job, his incompetence, Corey's like, yeah, I've been tracking down this. So there's a trail. Basically, the serial killer has been using like this really specific drug in his kidnapping, and Corey's done all the legwork. Palermo's been useless, drinking in his house, getting shot up. Absolutely no legwork has been done.
No pun intended with the legwork, because he's been shot in that leg.
So Corey's been doing all the actual like intellectual heavy lifting. She's like, I have called every manufacturer of this drug. I've chased it down the West Coast. We have a few options. One is at the waterfront. I think that's our best bet. Grizzled Detective's like, yeah, let's definitely go. I mean, we have no other information, but that sounds right. So the three of them load up and they arrive at a warehouse on the waterfront, as was previously stated.
I meet at Ocean.
At the ocean. And headline is there with the serial killer. The serial killer is still trying to get him to type up that manifesto.
Hi.
Okay, so they walk into the warehouse. They see that they're in there and they're like, okay, let's come up with a plan. Like, let's surround them or whatever. They're about as loud as you could possibly be.
Oh, yeah.
It's this big, echoey warehouse. They're like, he goes, hurry, get him out of here, like to save the headline. And I'm like, can you please just take it down a notch? Everybody can hear everything that you say. Be chill.
And he just learned from his yelling at the top of the building experience that like he needs to be extra, cautious or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, you go
I was
ahead
going
and
to say
finish,
he learned from
bud.
I know I'm pulling such a Palermo right now. He just needs to learn from his mistake and be a little bit better and assess the situation a little bit stronger this time before you make any moves. That's what I was trying to say.
It very much echoes the previous incident, because then the serial killer comes out of the shadows and takes Grizzled Detective hostage.
Oh, jeez. The tables have turned.
Right. Palermo is faced with the exact same scenario he was years before. He's holding a gun up. The serial killer is holding a gun to Grizzled Detective.
Is he going to make that cardinal sin and put down the gun?
He's just going to slip and fall.
He kind of just slips and falls. I'm like, oh, okay.
So he doesn't make the cardinal sin. He shoots the serial killer. And he uses perfect aim because their two heads are very close together.
Oh, yeah. You can't hold someone hostage unless your head is right next to that person.
But Palermo
Cheek to
makes
cheek.
the shot, and the serial killer dies immediately, bullet to the head, and then the Grizzled Detective's just like, thanks, bud. Just walks away.
He cannot say these like he really does. Well, all right, well, I guess that happened. I'll pack up my bags and go back to my regular life now, Palermo. Like, okay, well, I just, saved your life, but...
Doesn't process that trauma at all. He's just like, yeah, thanks for being a good dude.
Well, he's a Grizzled Detective. I mean, he's been in that situation.
Oh, yeah, he's been around the block
several
times.
Countless times.
He kills the serial killer. The shot is made. He gets to put karma to rest. All is well. The serial killer is gone. And most importantly, he gets to go on vacation, which he has not done in many years.
Palermo?
Mm-hmm.
He needs to go on a vacation.
So yeah, that's the end of that.
That's how they get away. And
well, who gets away?
Oh, that's how it ends. That's how
Just
it
curious
ends.
if I missed
No
something.
one gets away. God, they
No one
really
ever
wrap up
does.
all these episodes just right when you think that they can't. Like, what are they going to do? It's like, whoop, let's do it. I still can't get over Kristen TC. That was so gross. Like blouse, her silk blouse. I was trying to think of a 90s term. It's a very 90s looking blouse, y'all.
That's
Mhm.
totally his MO. I can see it so clearly. So
Palermo.
it's Palermo. It's Palermo. Yeah, I was trying to make that better, but it
Who's
didn't
copying who now?
Who's Echo now? Remember getting shot in the leg?
He's playing like
have a little tear in your eye.
I know, like Sarah McLachlan's playing in the background. I will remember. Oh, you went Arms of Angel. I went Remember You for sure.
That's a way better choice.
I know.
But actually, No, they're both great. Because I will
Angel.
remember you, but then Angel is what he leaves on the people.
Yeah, arms of an angel. Your arms around an origami gold angle.
We both. We both had a great idea. Let's share it equally. Nibble.
Ew, give a little nibs on my eardrum or my ear hole. Give a little nibs on my ear. What is that thing called? The little earlobe.
Lobe.
Yeah, earlobe, not hole.
In my ear hole.
Give a little nib on my ear hole. And she's like, dude, you guys, just a little lesson in psychology. If you're hurting and you're grumpy, does not give you an excuse to be hurting and grumpy to other people.
Just ask for help.
Just ask for help. Deal with it in your own way. But
Use your words.
You can't go around being a dickhole to everybody because you're sad about something. You gotta, ask for support. Lean on people. Don't be mean to people.
Hurt people, hurt people.
I was like trying to think of that. Hurt people, hurt people. Oh, I just echoed you again. Oh. Just can't get enough of hitting you. Just love it.
They may not have heard it. You're doing me a favor.
Yeah, like a stupid person.
No, it stands for involuntary celibate.
Yeah. Sorry, we just went about this with friends. We'll cut that part out. I was thinking, what do you call it? Imbecile.
Never gonna be able to... Oh, gross.
Kind of like we get throbs for Jason Momoa.
Oh, Jason Momoa. You know what? I had a dream about Jason Momoa the other night. I probably did have the throbs.
Oh, who wouldn't if you had a dream about Jason Momoa? I wonder what he's up to these days. I mean, after Aquaman, he's kind of just... Is he still doing that, like... He was doing that Netflix show, Frontier or something like that, where he was like a Frontiers guy.
Oh, you're right.
I wonder if
I
he's
need
still
to watch
doing that.
And he's doing that collaboration for the pants, the bags, and the shoes for the On the Roam thing.
Yeah, I like
And
those.
it's
I looked
all
into
like
it.
plastic free. It's all like earth friendly. He's just always just keeping busy, that little guy.
Oh my God, did you ever see that ad he did for Progressive car insurance? Or it might have been Geico.
Yes, the one where he strips off all of his muscles
that
and
was
he's like
so uncomfortable. I
his
hated
hair.
it. His little hair. His little long, scraggly hair in the back, but full bald in the front. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But on Jason Momoa, it just did not look a very... I didn't have the throbs in that for that
there were no
advertisement.
throbs involved. Oh, Jason.